Hi everyone and welcome back to Defi Daily, the channel where every day we talk about DeFi, going through different analysis, tutorials and news. Today we are going to talk about the 6 steps strategy that you have to follow in order to maximize your gains and minimize your risk if you want to use platforms like Olympus Dao, Klima Dao or Wonderland Money, but more in general, any kind of really high risky platform that is offering you some incredible APY that you would love to take advantage from, but you have to pay attention, and these 6 are the steps that you should always keep in mind and you have to follow in order to maximize your yield. And before to start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel. All you have to do is just to press the subscribe button. And if you want to also receive a notification every time I publish a new video to be always updated with the latest news on the market, I will highly recommend you to press also the ring bell button. Please guys, leave me also a big thumbs up and drop a comment in order to help me reach more people and grow this community. That's really a just small action, but really means a lot to me, but also for many other people outside that want to use the DeFi ecosystem and they don't know this kind of contents. Before to start, also a quick disclaimer, remember that all the contents in this channel are just for educational purpose. Nothing has to be intended as a financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's great, but remember, do always your own research first. In the last week, we have been talking a lot about many platforms that were offering a lot of really incredibly high APY. We have been a lot through Wonderland Money, we have been a lot through Olympus Dao, and also about Klima Dao. I will leave you also the link in the right corner here of all the free video, one for each platform, where you can find all the information about what we have seen together. Today I would like to share with you really an operative strategy, a step-by-step strategy that you should use in order to decide and to be able to really manage your allocation into one of these platforms. It doesn't matter which one do you choose. It doesn't matter if you find into the market any other kind of opportunity that is closed, at least in terms of really high yield. It doesn't matter because it always applies in the same way. The first step and the first rule that you have to follow is to always try to understand in which direction is headed a specific project. We have seen just the other day when we were talking about Wonderland Money that the real direction in which the founder, the developer behind the team wants to move the project is completely different from what most of the people were thinking. And if you missed that video, I will leave you also the link in the right corner here. And if you are a user and you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend to have a look at, because there are some of the most important updates you can find about Wonderland Money. As I was saying, Wonderland Money is going in a completely different direction, but you have to be aware of that. And that's the same for all different projects, because if you're thinking that they will release a certain kind of feature, you're thinking that they want to attract a specific kind of user, but the reality is something completely different, that could be a problem. Because remember that if the fundamentals of the project that you are investing in are different from what you are thinking about, this can affect your gains, because the reality you will obtain the gains that are related to what for real the platform is able to deliver. So don't just think, okay, this is similar to something else, because that's not the point. Many platforms are quite close in terms of features and in terms of what they are offering. But the truth, what is behind could be even much more different. So always check, always do your own research before jumping into any kind of project. The second rule that you have to be always aware is to be always on track. Because remember that it's not just a matter to, okay, I made the research at the beginning and I'm still keep going believing that this kind of view will be always right. Unfortunately, that's not the point, and that's not the point when we are talking about cryptos. Cryptos and DeFi are changing so fast that you have always to be on track. If you want to invest, specifically in really high risk investment, like for example all the platforms that we were seeing, in this case you have to be always updated on what's going on, because fundamentals can change really fast. You only have two options. One is just gambling, so go to the casino, and that's quite the same. Otherwise, try to build your own strategy and follow your own strategy. And here we are at the third point. You need a strategy. You need a set of rules that you have to decide previously, before investing, before doing anything. Remember, the worst moment to take any kind of decision is when you are in the middle of the action. You have just to follow your rules, and that's the reason why you need a strategy pre-built and pre-optimized that is already taking in account all the different scenarios. So you have only to check, okay, this is happening, okay, I should do this one. If it's happening something else, I will do something else. And that's the game. You need a strategy that it's your own strategy. I can't advise you on which strategy is better, because maybe to me being exposed by 1% is too much. For someone else it could be too low. That's really personal. Or in some case, for me losing I don't know 1,000, it's not a problem. For someone else it could be. Or in some case, the stress, the way I'm able to manage my personal stress, my personal feelings, it could be better. For someone else could be much more difficult. So it's just a matter of personality and of your own view on your portfolio. The only thing that I can say to you is find a balance between opportunities and risk. And this balance probably will change time by time. Probably if you are younger, it's easier to accept a higher risk. If you are older, maybe a high risk is too much, but it's really about you. But remember to keep a balance. Don't go all in, and don't just throw in just because you are feeling that it's a great opportunity. That's not the game. Try to manage according to your goal, and remember that your strategy should be built not to gain results in one day, but in the long term. You can't be rich just in one day. If you are thinking about it, just go and buy a ticket for the lottery. That's much better. If you want to stay in this market and if you want to make real money, you have to think at least on a timeline of 1 to 5 years. Everything that is less than this timeline is not a strategy. It's just trying to play a game that you don't know the rule. Don't rush things. Go step by step. And if you go in this way, I assure you, you can really reach some great result. But you have to do all the steps. You have to try, you have to learn, and better will be your knowledge, better will be also the result that you will be able to retrieve. The fourth rule that is highly connected is always put in this kind of high risk project only what you are prepared to lose. Remember that this kind of projects, this kind of cryptos are something that is more close to what is just gambling than just investing, because higher is the volatility, higher is the unpredictable result that you will be able to obtain, higher is also the similarity with just gambling. We can't take out the volatility, but we can just allocate to this kind of platforms and, let's say, investments what we are prepared to lose, and is something that we are aware of. The fifth point is the first step that you have to follow is about the indicators that you can use in order to understand in which direction is headed the project and in which phase of the market it is going. I'm talking about mostly the total value locked inside the protocol. If you are seeing a protocol that is growing into the total value locked, it means that the healthy of that protocol is quite high. The higher is growing the total value locked inside the protocol, the healthier it is. If at a certain point you are seeing that the growth is stopping, or even worse, that is decreasing, that is a really bad indicator, because it means that the flow, the stream of user is going from the protocol outside. And even if at the beginning the price of the token could stay close to what you were seeing until that moment, in any moment soon it can jump, because usually less are the users that are interested in that kind of platform, higher is also the risk that the price will dump. But that's quite obvious, because more people are coming out of the platform, more people are going to the market to sell their own tokens, and this obviously will affect the price. The sixth step that you have to follow is about Bitcoin. Because remember, yes, all of these platforms are not Bitcoin related, but Bitcoin is still the king of the market. And if something is going on to Bitcoin, let's say, for example, that the price of Bitcoin is leaving a major retracement, the probability that we will see a major retracement also on all the other tokens, and even more a more dramatic retracement, especially when we are talking about really speculative tokens. This kind of tokens are so volatile that they can really dump no matter what in a really amount of hours, not to say minutes, from a lot to almost zero. They can even lose 80, 90, 95, 99% in a matter of minutes, hours, or days. So be prepared of that. So in order to understand what could be the best moment to enter or not, you should always look to the chart of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is living a good moment, that is growing, that is healthy, that we are still in a bull run and we are far from a major retracement, that could be a better moment. Or even better if the price of Bitcoin is just doing sideways. That is a great moment, especially if after sideways it will go up and not down. That could be a good moment. So always keep an eye on the price of Bitcoin, because it is probably the best indicator that you can use to understand in which phase of the market the platform that you want to use is. So let's try to recapitulate what we have said. Step number 1. Be aware of the direction of the project and don't just try to guess where the project is headed. Second, be always on track, because fundamentals can change really fast into the crypto space. Step number 3, prepare always a strategy to follow before entering in any kind of investment or in any kind of platform. Rule number 4, allocate only what you are prepared to lose. Rule number 5, always track the total value locked into a protocol. If it is healthy, it is growing, that's great. If it starts to stop or decreasing, it is a first signal that you have to really pay attention. The last step that you have always to follow and you have always to keep an eye into your strategy when you are deciding to invest and to use this kind of platform is the chart of Bitcoin. The chart of Bitcoin can tell you much more than what you can even imagine about the future of the price of the token that you want to invest into. Guys, if you have any other step that you believe that you should take in account in order to maximize your gains and minimize your risk, just write me into the comments below. And as always, if you have any other question, feel free to write me. Remember also to leave me a big thumbs up in order to spread the word, reach more people and grow the channel. And I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye guys.